Welcome to another episode of John's O-Gauge and HO Trains. I'm on the O-Gauge layout again, and I've decided to tie up a lot of the loose ends, things I've never attended to. One of the things is that I've never screwed down the track to the base. I want to go around and do that, make it a little bit more secure. And another thing is clean up this coaling tower area. Another thing is on this fake switch track over here, I want to fill in this little gap with modeling putty and then paint it so it blends in a little bit better. Around the corners of the track and some other areas, I've traced where the track is, and I'm going to cut out some pieces of foam and make some little hills, and I'm going to secure down some of the scenery pieces that are already here, like over at this corner here. This station module has never been secured. I think while I'm at it, I'm also going to go in and use some filler somehow to fill in this edge between this Railway Express Agency siding and this little narrow roadway here. So it's not just this ledge here. So I'm putting a little model putty in this gap here. Might have to put in more later, and then I'll paint over to kind of conceal that gap. And I've got some number 4 Phillips flathead 3/4 inch screws. I'm going to bevel this edge a little bit so that the wheels don't hit it as they go around the track. I don't mind a little bit more dirt or dust ground into the roadway. It'll just make it look more realistic. Trying to patch this space here between the narrow street and this siding for the Railway Express Agency using this DAP concrete and mortar repair. And Ken Patterson and others have used this, and I used this before for a grade crossing. Had some success with it. I figure I'll just try this. It will fill the gap. It will shrink, so I'll have to put more over, a second coat. So it's been 48 hours since I applied the concrete and mortar repair to patch the gap between the narrow road and the track here, and I'm actually very surprised. I expected there to be a lot of cracking along here, and there is just about, I think, 0 here. Now, one place where I expected there to be a lot of cracking, and there is at this grade crossing, and I put it on very thick, and so there definitely is some cracking. And I'm putting in some screws to secure the backdrop divider to the plywood. So it's over 48 hours since I applied the second coat touch-up to the mortar and concrete repair mix. All along the siding track here, it didn't even need really any more applied. And I'm really surprised at how well it came out. In some spots, it does need to be touched up with sandpaper. And in some spots also it came a little above the railhead. And securing this piece of hardboard that is the fuel company parking lot. Most of this eventually is going to be very dark because it'll kind of match this area here. Some of this yellowish coarse turf. As part of the upgrade to this end of the layout, I'm adding some yellow grass here. I put in a road next to the water tower, and the grass along the road, some yellow grass here on this side of the road, and then over to the right here off the camera. And I'm using this yellow long grass from JTT Scenery Products, and I got it from Hobby Lobby. And I just pull out a bunch of it, snip it down to a smaller size with scissors, and I just put a little bit of white glue on. And plant this right here. Planting some more grass by the edge of the station over here. I laid down a bead of white glue, and this, when it dries, is going to be a boundary for some Woodland Scenics Realistic Water. That's a product that tends to flow very easily and self-leveling, and it needs a little dam to hold it in. So this will be eventually a marshy area. I'll put some more grass in and some greenery. And this line here has dried, and after it dried, I went in and painted using acrylic paints, some brown and green. Looks kind of like a swampy, marshy color. And the area inside the line is going to be filled with Woodland Scenics Realistic Water, and that's transparent, so the color should show through. Now I'm drilling a few holes in the middle of what will be a wet area, and I'm placing grass tufts in the middle. And the grass tufts are just made from parts of a duster, and then I painted the duster tufts using oil-based paint. So I placed a few more of the grass tufts inside what will be a watery area. Alright, so I'm going to start pouring some of this realistic water in. I don't know if I have enough in this cup here. I'm going to start back here because I want there to be a little wet area between this little wooded area and the track, as sometimes you see water in a gully alongside a track. It looks milky when you pour it out, but it does dry pretty transparent. Oh, and it's already going over the little dam that I made. So I got to be careful as I proceed. So I continue to pour a little within the boundary here of this blue line. And it does self-level, it spreads out. I think I'm going to put a little bit more in the back. But once this dries, I'm hoping it's going to be transparent enough that you can see the kind of the green and brown color underneath. If I have to, I could go back and make sort of a larger dam, a higher dam, and use some of the murky tint that I have for the realistic water and make another little pour here. But so far, it'll take probably at least 24 hours to dry, longer maybe, but I am optimistic it's going to come out pretty good. So before this is dry, what I did is I dropped some little very, very small bits of Woodland Scenics clump foliage into the realistic water. And first of all, I think it's kind of realistic because you'll see greenery growing in the water in the swampy area. Well, I learned an important lesson, something I should have already known. I already knew that this realistic water does really find a small gap and flow through it, and I wasn't even thinking about the tiny holes that I drilled for the grass tufts. I noticed that the water level was going down, and sure enough, it's running out these holes a little bit. So I'll let it dry and it'll kind of seal itself It'll run out a little bit, and then I may have to pour some more later.